Hello everybody and welcome back to my life in Taiwan. Today I've got a very Taichung specific topic to talk about, but I also think it's something that most of Taiwan should be interested in, as everybody loves to see Taiwan cities improving themselves, becoming more modern, more convenient, and more attractive to tourists. And for a long time now, Taichung has been somewhat lagging behind big brother Taipei in the north and jealous cousin Kaohsiung down in the south when it comes to public transport, especially metro systems, MRTs, undergrounds, or whatever you call them where you come from. Taipei's MRT, with its extensive 117 stations, carries 2 million people a day, while Kaohsiung's newer but smaller KTR has 45 stations and carries 186,000 on a daily basis. And Taichung, well, Taichung and the almost 3 million people that live here don't have an MRT at all. But as you can see right behind me, it is under construction, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. When is it finally going to be ready, and why has it taken such a long time to get here? Well, first of all, let's take a look at some of the facts. The idea for an MRT in Taichung has been around ever since 1990, around 20-30 years ago, but the plans were only given the official go-ahead in 2004 by the executive yuan of the government, and the deal was officially signed in 2007. And of course, it's difficult to say when the project was originally supposed to have been finished, because projects like this are kind of never-ending and always developing. But when the construction on this green line that you can see behind me started, it was proposed that it's 15 stations that later increased to 18, and the 16 kilometers of track would be opened by 2014, 5 years ago. And here we are in 2019, being told that this green line will be operational by 2020 at a final cost to the city of an eye-watering $53 billion. But one major thing I want to discuss is whether or not it will actually be worth it. I know I said earlier that I'm happy to see Taichung catching up with other major Taiwanese cities, so of course it's good to see an MRT project being started. But even once this green line has opened, it's only really going to be useful for people traveling anywhere along WenXin Road, this main road that goes around the back of Taichung. So if you live at one end of WenXin Road and work at the other, then lucky you. It will actually also extend out to the HSR station in Wuzhi, which will be one advantage for many people. But as with any new MRT system, the first line is usually a little useless until it actually links up with other lines and creates a convenient network similar to what we see in Taipei and other major cities around the world. But I feel that that multi-rail network that we're talking about is a long multi-line network is a long way away here in Taichung, despite what the government will have us think. What exactly is it that the government would have us think? Well, let's start with this absolute monstrosity of an idea in which I'm standing right now, This is one of the stations of the ill-fated BRT system that was unsuccessfully implemented by Mayor Hu and scrapped less than a year later by his successor Lin Jialong in 2015. And this system was supposed to be the blue line of Taichung's MRT, linking up with the green lane behind me. But it was using dedicated bus lanes as opposed to trains, and at a cost of 25 times less than the system being constructed on WenXin Road. Didn't seem like such a bad idea, cost effective at least, but as you can imagine from the fact that it was only operating for less than a year, it was deemed an absolute disaster and left Taichung with only the green line under construction. Now, yes, the government have actually released pictures of this multicolored MRT Plan Map, complete with several beautiful English spelling mistakes. Good job, whoever was responsible for that. And while it does look very impressive and covers the city extensively, all of these lines that you can see are either failed BRT lines, bus links, or indeed pre-existing ordinary rail lines that have been raised up and labeled as the MRT's red line. The only real MRT line on this map is the green WenXin line that I've mentioned several times already, and the only other line that is even in the planning stage is a real MRT blue line along this road where the failed BRT sits. It's going to have 18 stations stretching from the main station all the way down TAIWAN Boulevard, 26 kilometers out to the harbor. And according to one news source, this project has been approved by central government at a cost of 100 billion Taiwan dollars. But if the construction of the blue line is anything like the fiasco that the green line has been, then we should expect this line to join the network somewhere around about 2030. Nice. So quickly, before I sum up, I do want to mention a few things that have affected the construction of this MRT and things that have possibly added to the delay of the project. After all, Taiwan has previously broken world records with its rail construction, and it built the 350-kilometer HSR in 6 years. So this 15-kilometer stretch of MRT is taking an embarrassingly long time. And I feel that the reason for this comes down to two things: health and safety and bureaucracy. The project has been beset with problems throughout its entirety, notably in 2015 when a 200-ton steel girder that was being installed during evening rush hour, amazingly, fell and killed 4 people. The public were quick to criticize the mayor, Lin Jialong, for putting pressure on the companies involved to speed up the construction process, and apparently he was trying to get the project finished by 2018. He was dishing out fines for missed deadlines, but actually following this incident, construction was halted and more regulations were put in place that actually had the opposite effect and slowed down construction. But one thing I do want to go back to is that I just mentioned about the construction time and comparing it to the 6 years that it took to build the HSR, is that the HSR was built by some of the best engineers in the world, engineers from over 20 countries, whereas this Taichung MRT is being built primarily by local engineers and workers, which for me is one of the major reasons for the delays. Now, that's not to say that Taiwanese engineers are bad or worse than any other country, but of course projects like this are obviously best done in the hands of the best in the world. And of course, yes, that may involve some Taiwanese brains that can offer some specific local information to the project, but also there are companies with people that do this thing in cities all over the world, with the absolute best, most efficient engineers working for them in order to stick to a timeline, get the project finished on budget, and of course, most importantly, with as fewer health and safety incidents as possible. So again, I'm pretty sure that the teams chosen to build the MRT are probably to do with the delays. I'm not sure if what I'm saying is going to offend anybody, just my personal opinion. But that's pretty much it for this video. A few facts and figures about the MRT here. Of course, a bit of personal opinion. And what I want from you as viewers is to ask your personal opinion on this project. Are you a Taichung person? Do you come from Taichung? Are you embarrassed about this delay? Are you excited for the MRT to open? Just while filming this video, I actually heard a few trains going over during testing. So I think that the 2020 deadline is going to be met, and next year we'll all be riding up and down WenXin Road on this MRT. But I'd love to know what you think and what your opinion is of it. So please start a discussion in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll have a chat. But I think that's pretty much it from me for this video. I'm suffering from that uniquely Taiwanese phenomenon of sweating profusely while also being rained upon, getting double wet. So I think I'm gonna head straight to Starbucks and get this video edited. Thanks for watching, as always. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you next time in my life in Taiwan. Peace.